Hey everyone, Annette here. It's time for a pop-up, but it's evening. Not outside today. It was a little weird outside. Not quite conducive to an outdoor vid. Anyhow, so it is the 30th of September. Tomorrow's October 1st already. And I know today was a tough day, but I think we're getting used to that. I didn't watch anything that Dumpy said to our military. I didn't watch anything that Keg's Breath said to our military. I don't need to watch it. Not just because I'm psychic and I know what they said, but because there's no need for me to get upset. In a certain way, I feel reassured by the presence of our military. In a certain way, I feel reassured knowing that all the generals, as much as ill-conceived as that whole idea was, and as much of a danger it is to our national security, that Keg's Breath and Dumpy basically commanded that they all gather from all around the world and all meet in Virginia. They're all in one place, and what we saw, what I know, because of course if you follow the news, you hear the news even if you don't watch the actual event unfolding. The military, the soldiers, the generals, they all sat there in silence. And I'm going to read some cards on how that affected Dumpy, because he needs praise, he needs adoration. We heard earlier in the week that Keg's Breath, I don't call him by his real name for a reason. He doesn't deserve that. Keg's Breath was supposed to address the military on his own. I don't know where he gets off thinking that he's entitled to that position. So we're going to read on him a little bit too. But the military sat there silent. And I think that they're furious. I think that they're sitting there going, we took an oath to the Constitution, not to a buffoon. Not to two buffoons and then some. I understand how upset people are. We have a right to be upset. Let us also keep in mind that in the entire scheme of things, we have a lot of things to be grateful for in this moment. I was receiving guidance today that there are incremental things that are happening that are step by step leading us through this. We're getting through it. And democracy prevails. It prevails one little step at a time. This is the first time in American history that we've had this serious of a threat to our country. And what I did, truth be told, I watched closed captions of what Dumpy was saying, some of it, not the whole thing. And what I caught was that he was telling our military that we have a problem in this country, and it's the American people. I don't know if he said the American people, but he was saying, like he was talking about the enemy within, the enemy within, the enemy within. There's not even a better way to describe what he is. He's the enemy within. All of them were planted by the Kremlin. Let's be clear. The enemy within that he's referring to, and true narcissistic projection style, is him and all his damn minions. How dare they? Let's take a look at some cards. This won't be a long vid because it's just a pop-up. But I know that we're all looking for camaraderie, solidarity. Maybe we're not all looking for readings, but it's just nice to know that we can do this, that I have this channel and I can pull cards for all of us and see what comes up. So let's pull 3 cards about just looking at the aftermath for Dumpy of this debacle. I was talking to Kathy Beal earlier, and I was saying how I felt about all this, and I said, yeah, it might backfire that he's brought all these generals and soldiers together in one area where they're probably all going out and having a beer and something to eat at the restaurants and converging and talking about how displeased they are. And this story is not over. So in the aftermath, I'm pulling 3 cards about how Dumpy is feeling, just how he's feeling in the aftermath of that. It's been so many things. It's just been so many things that are off the rails, unacceptable, unbelievable, so brazen, so criminal. I know it's not easy. This is the Ace of Swords. This is the Sword of Truth. Smacked him right upside the head. That's how he's feeling. The 5 of Pentacles, he did not get what he wanted. He got really nothing. The King of Cups, I feel like this indicates a couple of things. One is his emotions on overload, for one, and the emotions of the military being shown to him that their emotional state spoke volumes. The emotional state of being silent. If you're silent because you're really in opposition to what's happening, that's not like an empty silence. That's a pregnant silence. So, how Dumpy's feeling. The truth lopped his head off. The truth whooped him upside the head. The 5 of Pentacles, he did not gain. This is like the card of the impoverishment and being destitute. And this is the overwhelming emotion of the military and how it affected him. Not positive feeling for him. Let's ask this little pendulum. My big one's downstairs. Let's ask this pendulum. Is he presently feeling upset by the way it went? He's feeling upset by the way it went. Is Dumpy feeling upset with Mr. Keg's breath? Not totally. Okay. Is Dumpy and Keg's breath putting their heads together to make some kind of plan? No. Did they talk to each other after the meeting? Did they have a meeting? Did Dumpy and Keg's breath have a meeting after the military meeting? Not really. No. Okay. I'm going to read, I'm going to change decks, and I'm going to read on, I don't think I'm going to read on the government shutdown. Hang on, one of the cards fell. Let me use a different deck. I'm just going to tell you what I get about the government shutdown, and I've been saying this all along. Yes, I got all along that the government was going to shut down. And I think that it kind of has to happen. This is the pain we have to go through to get to the other side. Because the American people will notice now. They've been noticing all along. It's incremental. But will notice now we can't have this. And then they'll look at who's in charge. Whoever's in the White House gets the blame. Whoever's in the majority gets the blame. They can blame it on the Democrats all they want. But the Democrats are up there, the ones out there fighting for the people. And we need to not complain about them at all. They're doing a big job. No measuring or judging or, oh, why aren't they doing this or why aren't they doing that? We need to cut that shit out. Okay, 3 cards about our military. All right. Justice. Our military will be seeking justice. There's potential for, this is just my thoughts, for Kegsbreath to be court-martialed. There's potential. Will Kegsbreath be court-martialed by our military? It might not be exactly that. Will Kegsbreath have to pay some consequences for that display of heinousness? Oh, yeah. Our military. Interesting. They are not happy. So I'm asking about what our military is really thinking right now. Look, we can't have this. Look at what we had. This is bad. This is bad that this has happened to our country. Our military is thinking about justice and how what an amazing amount of damage Dumpy is doing. Let's just say Russia. Because it's all coming from, all roads lead to Russia, right? He's the puppet. They're all the puppets of the Kremlin. And you know what? There's no need to even think that that's just conjecture. Remember, Tulsi Gabbard, the FBI has a file on her about her connections to the Kremlin. Witkoff is buddies with Putin, adores him. Blondie is a plant. The whole lot of them are. Never forget, in 2018, on July 4th, a bunch of the Republicans went to the Kremlin. Why? Because they wanted to visit and play tourists? Why were they at the Kremlin? Let's go to Moscow for the 4th of July. They're always making a mockery of the United States of America because they're trying to take down the United States of America. I'm asking about our military. They're thinking justice. They're thinking truth. This is about our Constitution. They're very aware of how much damage has been done. This is powerful. And that's a hawk there. And I just did my, and I haven't uploaded it yet, but I will, and you'll see it. I just uploaded the swords suit for my members who are following along to learn how to read the tarot. So I was talking about this as the sword of truth. Great intensity in that truth, and that's a hawk there. Remember my Psychic on the Rocks vid from Sunday? I saw the egrets fly over like the military. There's a hawk. Just the message being, see from a higher perspective. Bring your vision to a higher perspective. We're going through this for a reason. It's not to lose our democracy. We're going through this for a reason. A lot of the reason is to strengthen us as individuals and as a collective United States of America. A lot of it is that. So, I will actually pull a few cards on the shutdown just from the perspective of the, I'll use the animal cards, just from the perspective of the Democrats that are in office. I'm just going to read on how they're doing. Like how we, what Dumpy calls the enemy of the people. He's calling people that are Democrats, people that are for democracy, he's calling us domestic terrorists. Talk about an enemy. Remember, the military, they swore an oath. They all did. To protect our nation from all enemies, foreign and domestic. This is a domestic enemy, pointing to us as though we're the enemy. I don't think so. Just, what do you call somebody who intentionally inflicts damage and cruelty on an entire nation? That's called an enemy. 3 cards about how the Democrats are doing in light of this inevitable government shutdown. It's inevitable because they can't cave into what the Republicans are demanding. They're demanding cruelty. The Magician, the Lovers, the King of Cups. Interesting. So the question is, how are the Democrats doing in the face of this shutdown that's imminent? They are going to do some magic because the American people are seeing what's going on, and the love of the people is going to bring us out of this. The King of Cups. That's the overflow of emotions. Remember, I was talking about our military and saying the King of Cups had to do with what they were feeling in an overwhelming way. They're soldiers. I don't care. Yes, they're soldiers. And maybe they don't show their emotions. But these are dads, these are husbands, these are sons, these are daughters until Kegsbeth kicks all the women out. This is emotional. And the Democrats are appealing to the love for their constituents. They're appealing to their constituents. The magician indicates they're kind of doing a magic trick. So hang tight, have faith. We will get through this. We don't know why we have to go through these times. But we're blessed in so many ways. And keep your eye on the prize. Please do not lament. Please do not despair. Think about the soldiers in the front line of Ukraine. They could die at any moment, but they are dedicated to helping their country to save democracy. I wanted to say to save our democracy, because it really is connected. So keep your eye on the prize. Let's not be crybabies. Let's be strong. Together, there's nothing that we cannot do. All right. So that's my pop-up for tonight. It's Tuesday, September 30th. The next time I make a video will be October. It's going to be an interesting month. Call somebody who's having a hard time and just make them smile and laugh. Watch some comedy. Remember, the comedians are still on TV. And they'll remain on TV. Okay, namaste. Bye-bye.